So what's going on, everybody? Tyler Pritkin here with the Two Mortgage Guys. Hope everybody is having an awesome July month. Had it, in the heat of summer here. I am here with Mr. Friendly Guy Insurance himself, James Freeman. James, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks
Awesome.
so much for having me on.
Yeah, definitely. We're glad to have you on, man. I know it's your first time on here. It's good to be in person, especially with as COVID's winding down and everything like that. So, how's COVID been for you?
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been good and bad. Bad in the sense that we're all at home and you really kind of wake up and look back at the things that you normally would get up and do, and now you can't do them anymore. So that's the bad part. The good news for me, and again, I hate to get positive vibes from something that came so negative, COVID being negative in the sense that my insurance agency blew up when COVID took off. And the reason it did is because people were at home trying to figure out, how do I save money? How do I pay my bills? So they were picking up the phone, calling and dialing insurance, getting quotes, and our phones just blew up. So we actually had a record year last year.
That's phenomenal.
Very
even in any situation, there's always silver linings. And like you said, we're all stuck at home. We can definitely have a lot. We can still count everything that we're grateful for, right?
Absolutely.
Still count our blessings. So that's awesome that you had a great year for yourself. So when you're talking about insurance, what type of insurance do you do?
So I specialize in personal lines, everything from life insurance to home to auto to boat, motorcycle insurance, anything personal. I'm licensed for commercial, but I don't dab into it. It's just not my area of expertise, so I tend to focus on the personal stuff.
Very cool, awesome. How did you get into that industry, and how long have you been in the insurance industry?
Sure. So I don't know what it was. I woke up one day, and this is back in the 80s, right? I'm starting to show my age, right?
Okay.
So I woke up one day in the 80s, and a friend of mine was an agent and was doing very well. I'm thinking, shoot, this looks kind of fun. You own your own business and write your own hours, your own schedule, and helping people. And I went and applied over at Farmers Insurance back in the 80s. And the guy hired me. You're hired, and you're good to go, and you can start right away. Yeah, I'm ready to go. And then he ran my driving record, and so I had 2 speeding tickets.
Oh, wow.
So that took me out of the ball game at that point.
Oh,
so
my
I
gosh.
wasn't able to go. Yeah, so as an insurance agent, you better have pristine records.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
We're supposed to be the examples, right? So I didn't get that. I didn't get that job. So I went on to sell life insurance. I worked for 2 very large life insurance companies.
Okay.
And then for whatever reason, I just, having one product to sell for me was just like, I didn't really like it. I figured if I was going to do the insurance thing, I wanted to do it all. Yeah. I want to do the life, the home. I want to do the whole thing. And when you sell just life insurance, it's just like you just got one tool in your belt. Yeah. So I got out of that, went back into my retail world. I did retail growing up as a kid. Oh, wow. And did many years of retail. Sold shoes, all right? Okay. So I'm an old shoe dog. But then I was approached, 9 years ago, and asked to come and join a team. And I'm like, yeah, okay. It's been the best decision I ever made. It's been a lot of fun. So it's been great, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome. It's the thin lines, right? It's not, sometimes it's not what you know, but it's who you know.
Right.
That gets you into somewhere. So similar to me, how I got in this industry, but that's another story for another time. But that's awesome that's being in the industry for this long. I've learned a lot from you just in the short time we've known each other. The last few months within the last year, and it's been cool. And I would definitely say you are a friendly guy, so you definitely live up to,
I gotta
your
live
reputation.
It up, right? I gotta live up to the name.
Yeah, you got a reminder every day, right? When you wake up and when you go to sleep. That's really cool. How long have you been in this area for?
So now I'm really gonna show my age. Okay. So originally from LA. Okay. Grew up in LA, and then my dad, for whatever reason, had a passion for San Diego. Okay. I came home from school one day, house was for sale, moved to San Diego, lived there for a while, many years, junior high school and high school, and then moved up here to Murrieta in 95. Okay. So I've been in Murrieta when the population was like 26,000. Everybody thought I was crazy. Yeah. You're moving where? It's so hot there. You're nuts. It's gonna... Okay, so I moved, right? Yeah. 4 or 5 years later, all those same people were calling me. Hey, James, what's the name of that area? Was it Temecula, Murrieta? I'm like, remember that conversation we had years ago when you said it was too hot and all that? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you were right. stay where you are. You know what I mean? We don't need any more people out here.
It's
And
nice.
Now gosh, what 113,000 I think in Marietta now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I know my family and I moved out here in '93.
Wow, you beat me.
Yeah, we followed my uncle, was in the mid '80s. My grandpa was out here early '80s when I don't even think the 15 was even built yet, from what I was told. So that's a story. But yeah, I'm there with you, seeing the growth. So I love meeting people that are like the OGs, as I would call it. We're the 100%. OGs in Marietta. So that's awesome. So did you graduate from Marietta Valley then?
Actually did not. Graduated down in San Diego.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. So a little back. Oh, very cool.
See, I'm really showing my age now.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Very, very cool. What's some things now, going through COVID, and coming out of COVID now, I guess one question I would love to kind of pick your brain on is, hasn't the insurance industry changed at all? Is there many misconceptions or anything that the buyers or, your clients that know that they might not have had to know before, or how the industry's maybe changed?
Well, there's some things that have changed and some things that have stayed status quo. From a life insurance standpoint, one of the biggest changes, and again, we didn't have to really look at it, because years ago, or up until COVID, life insurance, you apply for it. If you're healthy and you could get approved, you're good to go. As soon as COVID hit, now all of a sudden these underwriters were like, whoa, now we really got to look at people. So
oh, really?
When COVID hit, there was just like this huge upswing of people looking for life insurance because everyone was nervous and people were dying, right?
Yeah.
So the underwriting rules changed with life insurance. So that was a big thing for us, is getting underwriting to look at somebody. The first thing they're looking at, okay, now there's a COVID questionnaire where there wasn't a COVID questionnaire before, So the underwriting process was different than it is today.
Okay.
But it's gotten better now that COVID's, we're kind of sweeping that under the rug. I hope it goes away sooner than later, but
of course,
it's still kind of lingering. But yeah, underwriting has changed dramatically just due to COVID. That's on the life insurance part of it.
Gotcha. What about the other parts of the personal insurance?
On the property casualty, it's been pretty much the same. I can tell you right now what's really interesting about claims. There is a huge influx of claims due to water.
Really?
So yeah, it's a huge challenge in the insurance industry right now, especially California. And I don't know why California, but right now water claims are huge. It's like the number one claim right now pertaining to homeowners insurance.
Really? Like floods and things like that?
Simple things. People like, little kid turns on the bathtub, and goes down, starts playing with his toys, all of a sudden, an hour later, where's that water coming from?
Oh my gosh.
Kid didn't shut the bathtub, or overflowing toilet, water heater, things like that. So we're actually putting a program in place right now to where we're actually going to send out a little monitor. It's about that big, and we're going to set it up in a place, say for example, like where a water heater or a potential a water leak could happen, or you could put it in a toilet area right in there. And as soon as it detects water, it tells your phone, hey, there's your water heater is blowing up, whatever.
Oh wow!
So we're gonna roll that out probably in the next 60 days to our current homeowners here in
Very
California, cool. And hopefully that'll mitigate some water claims.
Oh wow, that's really cool. That benefits of technology, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, remarkable, man. I guess that makes sense. I mean, people are home a lot more things can definitely happen. Fortunately, I haven't had that with my kids. So, about your family and stuff. Married, you said I know you told me you had a daughter. So
yeah, I've been married for many years, and
awesome.
I've got two girls. Oldest is second year in college, and
okay.
My youngest just graduated Vista Marietta.
Oh, awesome!
Last June, so we're sending her off to Cal State San Marcos here next month. So
remarkable.
Yeah, we're going to be empty nesters. I don't know how to act, right?
You might need some extra insurance.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
Going crazy with some parties. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Cool, man. I always love hearing because we talk business and stuff, but just love getting kind of personal, get to know people, especially being another local guy and in this area. What's some things that you see with this area and the growth and changes that maybe people in this area that should know that they don't maybe about insurance? Well, what are some main questions that maybe don't get addressed that should get addressed? I guess I would ask it.
Generally speaking, if I had to think about the most common phone call that I get, our agency gets on a daily, weekly basis is there's so many different questions, but there are a few that are just constant. They're always the same one.
Yeah.
And getting back to the home, I want to talk about discounts real quick.
Okay.
Because that comes up all the time.
Yeah.
James, how do I save more money on insurance? What can I do to get my rates down, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that you can do that's a huge discount that I'm very surprised that more people don't take advantage of is installing some type of burglar system.
Really?
As small as even just a Ring doorbell.
Okay.
Or even you go to Amazon and buy a $30 camera, and it's linked to your phone, have it set out, looking at your property. That's 10% discount. Okay, not huge, but it's something if you don't want to.
Yeah, but that adds up though.
It adds up, and you get that discount every single year, right?
Okay.
So the biggest discount is the centrally monitored burglar alarm.
Okay.
So I personally just installed a Ring security system.
Okay.
And when I first heard about it, I'm thinking, Ring, they just make the doorbells. I'm like,
yeah.
No, they make these burglar alarms. Okay, let me check it out. So I went over to Costco, right? Always at Costco. Who isn't at Costco?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's 220 something bucks. It was like 179 bucks. I bought it. 10-piece system. Called this company that came out the next day. They work exclusively for Ring. If anybody's interested in finding out about this company, look me up because I'll share that information.
Nice.
But I called them and they came and installed the whole entire system for 129 bucks.
Oh wow.
The next day. They were absolutely the best. They're professional. They were great. 30% discount.
30%
on the homeowners.
Oh my gosh.
So that's,
it pays for itself within the next year.
And you get that discount year after year after year after year.
Okay, so it's not one time.
Correct. So that would be the biggest discount on the home. And again, that's one thing I think that people just they don't think about it. Some people are on it, they have it, they've had it for years, they've had the ADTs, but that's one of the biggest discounts we give on the home.
Oh wow.
The other thing that people don't take advantage of too much is they call one company and they'll do the homeowners with this company, and then they'll put their motorcycle with this company, and they'll put the home and the auto. It's just they got 10 different policies, 10 different agents. I always say put everything with one agent because if anything goes wrong, there's one throat to choke, right? But no, I'm kidding. But it's in the client's best interest to put everything, and you hear all these commercials, bundle this, bundle that, because when you put the home and auto together, it triggers a discount. So the discount on the car is due to the fact that you have the home. The discount on the home is due to the fact that you have the car, and so on and so on. So you want to put everything together for that reason, to save a bunch of money. But I'll tell you something that a lot of people don't know and a lot of agents don't really want to talk about.
Yeah.
The fact that you have one policy here and one policy over here can sometimes get you canceled. And I'll tell you why. I'm making this up. Okay. Let's just say a guy has a home, he's got homeowner's insurance with ABC company, files a water claim. Insurance company writes a check for $25,000.
Yeah.
At renewal, the insurance company will look at that and say, okay, wait a minute, let's see here. The guy's paid us $600 in premium, and we just wrote a check for $25,000. Not really a good risk. We're not winning on this one.
Yeah.
Cancel.
Wow.
So I'm not saying that's exactly 100%, but it happens.
It has happened.
It has happened.
Oh, wow.
It has happened.
So to mitigate that, so by bundling, they're showing that you're more invested in that company, so to speak. Okay.
That's exactly.
Yeah. Because they're like, well, if we cancel him, he might cancel, the auto, the motorcycle, the RV, just because of the home. And so now they have more invested interest in you as well.
They're making more money. Insurance company is, it's a financial transaction. Insurance is a financial transaction. Yeah. So if they're not making money, just like a bank, then their risk isn't really all that good for them. So.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's the economy. I mean, there's always got to be profit margins and stuff. And so, it's awesome to have, someone like you that can represent them. And, speaking of Friendly Guy, the one thing I haven't asked you yet that I would want to ask is, how did you come up with the name?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, now I'm really gonna date myself. No,
okay.
I'm kidding. No, so that's a cool question, and it God, when you asked me that, it brings back some good memories. So when we first moved up here in '95, we were all first-time home buyers, right? Yeah. So we moved in Marietta, right off of Cal Oaks and Jackson, I think, right there off Nutmeg. And
you were right by me then.
Okay, so cool. So we were in a cul-de-sac, and every single person was a first-time home buyer. So there was a lot of bonding, a lot of fun there because we were all in the same boat.
Yeah.
But initially, you didn't really know anybody. So I would always come home around 3 o'clock. I was always like the first guy to come home. And I just have a habit of opening my garage door.
Yeah.
So my garage door is open. I had a pool table in there, and I had the kegerator, right? Had the kegerator going. And everybody that would come home, they'd drive by and they'd I look in the garage, what's going on in there, And I'd wave at everybody, and I just started waving at people and, hey, how's it going kind of thing. And I got to tell you this real quick. There's a guy that moved in, really nice guy. We'll call him Joe. And he used to come by and he'd look inside my garage, and I'd say, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm just going to get my mail. Okay. Want a beer? Yeah, I'll have a beer. So he'd come here and, Joe would have 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers. Joe's on number 9 beer.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Joe would go home. And this happened every day for like 2 weeks, right? Joe would come and go get the mail and stop by and get a beer. And all the neighbors came. We had a lot of fun. We were shooting pool, having a good time. And all of a sudden I noticed Joe was never getting the mail anymore.
Yeah.
I said, Joe, what's going on? I said, I thought, you're getting the mail every day. He's like, my wife won't let me get the mail anymore. So that was Joe, and I'll never forget that. So to answer your question, there was a neighbor that finally came over and said, a lot of the other neighbors are asking, hey, God, he's a really nice guy over there. Who are you talking about? And he says, everybody on the block referred to you, talking about me, as the friendly guy.
Gotcha.
And I just became the friendly guy. And then about 6 years ago, I rebranded my agency. I represent a very, very large publicly traded insurance company that I write for. And they don't do any advertising. They don't do the TV ads. They don't spend the billions of dollars, right? So that's why our rates are so good, right?
Okay.
With that said, it didn't help me. So when I told somebody I write for this company, they weren't like, "Oh my gosh, really cool. Give me a quote."
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt me because they weren't known. So it didn't help me. It was just kind of an odd thing. So with that said, I said to myself, you know what? I can go and brand myself. Mm-hmm. And came up with a cartoon, the logo, and my good friend Sam Loy. I don't know if you know Sam Loy or not. He's huge movie buff and video production, all kinds of things. He said, you should take your picture and make it a cartoon. And that's exactly what I did. So then I came up with the Friendly Guy Insurance with the logo and all that, and that's when business just blew up.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because I see your stuff. I see your stuff on Facebook. I've on social media, I see you around, and the algorithms definitely. The more we talk, the more business we do together. Definitely, the more it's popping up. So it's awesome. I know you've definitely helped a lot of our clients. We've had a couple that have really been in a bind, debt to incomes, things like that, on the verge of not qualifying, and you've been able to really come through with some rates. I mean, I'm like, James, can you get me, ABC rate? Can you get me $500 a year on this condo? Next thing I know, it's coming in $388. We just got one down, and now it's going from just on the verge of qualifying to, hey, we got a little room just in case something happens. So you've definitely been a lifesaver for our clients, and they're they love you for it. So you've been very, very friendly.
Thank you.
We'll say with all of that.
No,
so,
it's been a pleasure working with you.
But
guys.
It's been a pleasure working with you. It's been very easy, very fast, very transparent and straightforward, which is something that we definitely look for, because that aligns with the values of our company.
Sure.
Is we want to make sure that everything's done up front, done right, and just done with integrity. And it's I know in today's age, I think that stands out a lot more.
Absolutely.
In more ways than one, So, definitely wrapping up here. Is there anything that I guess I haven't addressed, because I definitely, you're the insurance expert.
Yeah, sure.
That you think would definitely benefit your clients or any potential clients or our viewers, going through in the future as we're coming out of COVID and going forward?
Yeah, great question. I think overall, to wrap it up, looking at insurance is so dry.
Yeah.
The topic of insurance is so dry to begin with, right? So how do you make insurance fun? But, I think at the end of the day, I think nobody likes insurance. I don't think there's an insurance agent, that woke up one day and said, I want to be an insurance agent, right? But I think consumers, for the most part, they don't like insurance. What's there to like, right? Because it's for the consumer, including me. I have to have the car insurance. You can't get out of it. You got to have liability insurance in California. And then if you have a loan on a home, you got to have, homeowner's insurance. And even if you don't have a loan, you still want it, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, we look at it as like, oh my gosh, it's like it's an evil necessity. And I got to have this thing. I hate it. And the premiums, insurance is going up all the time. But I think at the end of the day, if you take what insurance really does for you and you use it to what it's really for, you look at it a little bit different, and I'll give you a quick example.
Okay.
Most insurance agents, and by the way, there are a bunch of really good agents out here.
Yeah.
A ton of them. But a lot of them, especially when they're new, they're like, hey, give me your information. I want to see if I can save you some money.
Yeah.
I want to save you some money. it's not about, listen, if I can save you some money, which I do, and you already know that because my rates are good, that's great. But where we really need to focus on is, why are we using insurance? And we're using it because we want to mitigate personal liability exposure. Yeah. Okay. So if somebody asked me, James, what do you do? In my early career, I would say, oh, I'm an insurance agent. I sell insurance, right? Hey, can I get you a quote, right? Yeah. Now, if somebody asks me what I do, I don't even say that. I mean, my feeling inside is that I'm here to help people, period. I mean, we're here to help. When you look at it as helping, it changes your whole mindset. And I know your agent, your company does the same thing. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to let people see that, hey, you have assets. You have, especially now, home values are going through the roof. Right. People have $300,000-$400,000 in their home. They've got money in their 401ks. They've got money in their bank accounts. Some people are worth, I talked to a guy the other day, and he had the bare minimum insurance on his auto. Okay. I said, what's your net worth? He says, well, I'm about 1.5, 1.6 million. Okay. He says, what's net worth got to do with insurance? I said, it has everything to do with insurance. Because if you are at fault in an automobile accident, and when the attorneys get involved, and you and I both know this, Tyler, if the attorneys get involved, they're not going to sue you just a little bit. They're going to sue you a lot, right? Yes. So with that said, if you have your home insurance, your auto insurance together, you now qualify for an umbrella policy. Okay. An umbrella policy is minimum $1 million. Yeah. So the umbrella policy sits on top of your home, your auto, your rental properties, your motorcycle, in case you get into trouble. So if you're sued for $500,000 and you have California bare minimum coverage on your auto, they're going to write a check for $15,000, which is California minimum. Yeah. And if you're sued for $500,000, they're going to come after the consumer for the balance of the $485,000. Oh my gosh. And everyone's saying, well, I'm not worried about that. I don't have $485,000. They can't touch me. In California, they can garnish up to 25% of your wages. Yep. So
I've seen that in a number of clients.
All the time. Yeah. And it happens. Yeah. So overall, if I could make one suggestion, put everything together, everything you have with one company, and insist on an umbrella policy. Because if you're sued, they're going to sue you for everything you got. Yeah. And I know that I would much rather have the insurance company pay out than them, come after my personal assets. Yeah. That's my biggest suggestion.
Wow, that's some great information. I didn't even know that. So, yeah, I really appreciate that. And once again, we had James from Friendly Guy Insurance on here. James, thanks for coming on, man. It was definitely a pleasure.
Hey, I enjoyed it. Pleasure is mine, and thanks for turning me on to these sparkling magnesiums. These are fantastic.
Yeah, those things are awesome. Definitely very quenching. But yeah, you can get James's info here. It'll be at the bottom of the screen throughout the podcast, and shared on all the platforms. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being on again, and I hope everybody has a great day.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good times here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.